This week on the Analog Circle podcast, we may now know the price of GTA6 from the man himself, Mr. Strauss Zelnick. He might have talked about what we can expect to pay in his latest interview. Xbox has a partner showcase coming up this week, and it looks like the Xbox Series X has a price reduction for some customers. Oh, man. We definitely got to talk about that. It looks like reports are stating that PlayStation will make an official announcement about no longer putting their games on PC. And Nintendo is slowing down the production of the Switch 2. Is it because the sales have taken a hit? Well, we'll definitely talk about it. But all of these stories can be found here and a whole lot more in episode 278 of the Analog Circle podcast. I am your host, Kiaun Mitchell, and welcome to the show. Come on in, sit down, and relax, because we're going to have a great conversation today. And if you're traveling, hopefully we can accompany you to your destination. Now, as always, if you want to be a part of the show, a part of listener feedback, you can do it two different ways. You can either call in at 667-284-9057 and let your voice be heard, or you can email the show, and the email address is simply the Analog Circle Podcast at gmail.com. So you guys know where we're going to start. Of course, we're going to start with the question of the week. And the question is, should physical games cost more than digital? Well, the reason why I am mentioning this is because our friends over at Nintendo, they never cease to amaze. Matter of fact, I got this story from IGN, so it states, and I'm a quote, Nintendo's statement is below. They say, quote, "The cost of physical games is not going up. This means that when Nintendo sells digital versions of Nintendo published games exclusive to Nintendo Switch 2 to consumers in the U.S., those prices will have an MSRP that is lower than their physical counterparts." Now, it says retail partners set their own prices for physical and digital games, and pricing for each title may vary. So this is where this stems from. Yoshi was previously announced with a digital price of $59.99, which remains in place today for its digital version. But its physical counterpart will now be sold at $69.99, a full $10 more than the doggone physical copy.
What did he say?
What the world is going on? Now, this is the thing. This is to be expected from Nintendo. These are the practices that they do. Now, this is, again, the question. Should physical cost more than digital? We know that for years, for forever, for the most part, unless a game is completely all digital release, and sometimes it's even the same thing with that, we've known that the physical copy and the digital copy has always been the same price. Now, the thing is, I would normally say that the physical should cost more because you're actually getting the case, you're getting the actual disc, you're getting something physical, but you don't get any of the bells and whistles with these physical copies anymore. You no longer get a physical book. You don't get any posters. You don't get any stickers. You don't get any maps that map out the world or anything like that. You literally get the disc and the case. And to that, I say, no, I don't think so. The digital version, I get it. The digital is even worse. You got nothing. Absolutely nothing. To me, This is just Nintendo being Nintendo as always. Always being the one that wants to push the envelope because they feel like they can. They feel like that their fan base is going to bend at every single whim that Nintendo says to bend at. I mean, right now, all I can say is Nintendo is out here, brother, and they are. They shooting up the block right now. They have put everybody on notice that if you want the physical copy, you're going to pay $10 more. Now, is this just a isolated incident and that it's just the Yoshi game that is releasing? We know Nintendo better than that. No, I highly doubt that this will just be for Yoshi. They already said, Nintendo wanted to charge, $90 for some games? So why wouldn't they charge $10 more for the physical? Now, Nintendo, if you're going to throw in some booklets and things of that nature into your games, now I got a couple of your physical games upstairs. I don't recall seeing a booklet in any of them. Now I could stand corrected once I look inside, but inside of the case. But the interesting thing that I do want to mention about Nintendo, and maybe why this is happening kind of the way that it is, even though Nintendo did put us on notice. We got to be fair to them. They already said $80 and $90 are going to be some of the standard prices for their games. But you guys know that we had covered Nintendo actually going up against the U.S. government. They wanted their money back for the tariffs. And shockingly, well, not shockingly, but Nintendo, they actually won the case against the U.S. government, but the tariffs, they don't seem to be going anywhere. And I got this story from Nintendo Life. I didn't write it down. I need to make a segment called non-written description. I don't know. Anyway, this story from Nintendo Life says, while Nintendo is well positioned to reclaim those funds, it shouldn't break out the champagne just yet. Trade experts told Nintendo Life that the Trump administration is already reconstructing its tariff regime under a different legal authority, meaning Nintendo could still be on the hook to pay fresh import duties. Gamers in that scenario can expect no let up in the higher prices. So here it is. Nintendo thought that they were going to get one over. They were going to get their money back. Trump said, nah, we're reevaluating this. Hold on, fellas. Hold on. Matter of fact, I believe that they're supposed to be working on this on April. Let me see if I can find the date. I think they said it's going to be around April 2nd or somewhere around there. They're going to be repositioning these tariffs and things of that nature. So, yeah, they won the lawsuit, but those tariffs are still going to be a thing. Nintendo did say, quote, Nintendo argues in its lawsuit that the tariffs amount to a legal injury that won't heal unless the government pays up, end of quote. So Nintendo's like, come on, man, we need this money. We are injured. We're hurting right now. We need the money, U.S. government. And I'm telling you, U.S. government is not trying to give it up. You know what the U.S. government is saying? You know what they saying.
Show me the money.
That's all they care about. That's all they care about. Nintendo get in line with the other 1,000 other companies that are coming after us. Man, oh man, you know how this goes. I mean, Nintendo, they did win. But again, leave it to the government. They going to circle the block. You know they going to spin the block. They don't want to give that money back for real. Come on, man. They said they got to set up all of these different computers and, get some IT professionals in there to set this stuff up. This stuff could take 45 days, bare minimum, to set up. Instead, the government said, nah, we just going to, re-scrap it. And yeah, it says it right here. It says, this is still the Nintendo Life article. Says tariffs are basically, tax applied to certain imported goods. Says Trump's second April tariffs were primarily country specific. Vietnam negotiated its rate down from 46%, God dog, to 20%. Whilst China's rate, China's rate spiraled to a peak of 145% before partial relief. So, says Nintendo manufactures its consoles and accessories primarily in Vietnam and China, which put it squarely again in the crossfire. So it's going to be very, very interesting. It seems like Nintendo's prices, they're going to continue to go up. We know that Sony, at least for right now, Sony is in a pretty okay spot where they have enough PS5s and PS5 Pros in a warehouse. They've really been gathering them. So their prices might not go up for quite some time. But, eventually, just like any and everything, the price, yesterday's price, is not today's price. So we should definitely expect that will be the case moving forward one day. But again, getting back to the question of the week, should physical games cost more than digital? I would love to get you guys' thoughts. I'm under the mindset, just for the record, to say no. I don't think physical games should cost more than digital. If anything, digital should cost way less. I'm talking they should cost half. Well, maybe not half. That's going a little too far. But if games are $70 physically, and I'm just talking about from the PS5, Xbox Series standpoint, I would say digital should be $50. That's what I would say, because you got a code. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. If anything should be less, it should be the digital copy, not the physical. But I would love to get you guys' thoughts. So with that being said, though, it's a couple other stories I want to get into, the unwritten writtens that I have right here as far as the stories are concerned. So I had another one here, which was very, very interesting. This is going to make some of my Xbox brethren a little happy, because I got this story from Pure Xbox. Again, I didn't write this down. I'm actually reading it from the article. So Pure Xbox said Microsoft beats out Sony and Nintendo in Metacritic's 2026 game publisher rankings. And as a PlayStation fan, brothers, the pain that I feel. Because listen to this, doggone, where did PlayStation land? Listen, these were the top 5. Let's get to the top 5 game publisher rankings for the Metacritic score. Number 1 came in for Square Enix, where their average meta score was 84. Gamera's Games, I don't even know who the heck Gamera Games are, but they had an average meta score of 82. Capcom came in third for meta score of 83. I keep wanting to say Metacritic, but meta score of 83. Thunderful, that's another doggone company. I don't know who the heck these publishers are. Thunderful came in at a meta score of 78, and Microsoft came in at an average Metacritic score, and they came in 5th place at 80. 80. Well, why the world is a Microsoft ahead of Thunderful? Oh, I see. Okay, they got a point system going. So Thunderful was at 306.88 points, and Microsoft is at 305.7 points. So they were just slightly under Thunderful, but they have a Metacritic score, a meta score of 80. Microsoft does. Now, if you want to talk about Switch and PlayStation, man, God, dog. PlayStation, take a guess. Well, you know what? We'll do Nintendo. Nintendo came in 12th. They were in 12th place And doggone, check this out. PlayStation. Oh, man. PlayStation came in at 21st.
But wait, it gets worse.
Oh, man. 21st. These jokers are like 16 spots away from Microsoft. 16 whole spots. This is doggone crazy to me.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
Dang. Oh, PlayStation, what the world is going on? Yeah, you know what, man? Listen, truth of the matter is Microsoft, they've been out here working. These jokers got games out in the field. They've been releasing. They've had a good, how can I say, a good cadence of games that have released this year. Man, you got to give it to them. Listen, they have not been doing things the way that I would like for them to, but I'll say these numbers, because numbers can lie, but these numbers, they don't lie, man. So shout out to Xbox for getting the W. Man. These jokers got a W off of the thing that we dislike the most. They usually have mediocrity. These jokers have been averaging a meta score of 80. Craziness, man. Absolutely craziness, but I love to see it. Listen, they got Fable coming out this year. They allegedly got Gears of War E-Day coming out this year. They've already had other games that have released this year. Wasn't Ninja Gaiden this year? I might be tripping. I don't know, but I know they've had multiple releases this year. They had a few releases last year that were good. And, listen, they got a ton of different developers that are working for them, that are under their regime, and they've been working. You can't be mad at that. As a gamer, a fan of gaming, I love to see this. I love it. Hopefully, PlayStation has been put on standby. You're 21st, my fella. You're 21st. Nintendo is beating you. By God, dog, they're in 12th. 12th place. You are 9 spots away from Nintendo as far as your meta score goes. Now, granted, we got Soros coming out this year, and we got Wolverine coming out this year. Oh, man. We got 2 huge hitters coming out later on this year. Matter of fact, Soros is next month, as a matter of fact. So I'm sure that's going to score well. And then you got the big boy coming out, Wolverine. God dog, he going to be slashing everybody coming out the gate. I got a feeling that game is going to get about a 90. That might be a little high. Let's say about an 85 to an 88. That's going to help him out a bit in that travels. And then, I almost forgot. Guess what else? Now, it's not going to be the biggest thing, not for everybody. And pardon me, guys, if you hear my microphone hissing again, I really, really do apologize. But the thing that I want to mention that is coming out next month, which is kind of exciting to me, I got to be honest, is Flight Simulator in VR, VR2. Flight Simulator 2024-2025 is going to be in VR2 next month. And I saw the previews. Oh, brother. I have to get that. If it was ever a game, listen, my good brother, Mike J, my good brother, Glove Box. Shout out to Vaughn as well. I know y'all brothers, maybe not Vaughn as much, but I know y'all were saying, what is going to make you open your VR too? I'm tell you something, brothers. That game right there, Flight Simulator. You know, the way it makes it look like you fly. I mean, of course, you are flying, you know, in the game, of course. But the way it makes it really look like you off the ground. You in the clouds, catching some wind. That right there, that will be the moment, I believe, for me, where I will open up the PSVR 2 and I will have to experience this. Because as I look on my shelf at my PSVR that I never opened, that came with Astrobot and Moss and the camera, everything I needed, never opened it. And I think the reason why subconsciously that I never opened it was because people said it was such a hassle to doggone hook up. So I was like, you know what? I mean, we're at the tail end of the console generation. I don't know if I really want to deal with it. I might just put it up on the shelf. I mean, it's not unfortunately, it's not the first time I haven't opened up a peripheral. I have the Thrustmaster P10 Thrustmaster wheel. I don't know, man. I got it a couple of years back. Has all of the handling with the steering wheel, has all of the haptic feedback inside of it. It fights you around the turns. Really feels like a real arcade wheel. I didn't even open that up, brother. That's still in the closet, and it was untouched. God dog. Hey, listen, man. I couldn't get around to opening it up, man. It's a great steering wheel. It really is. Came with the pedals, came with the Sparko wheel, all of that stuff. Got great reviews. You know, people actually really, really enjoyed it. I was just like, yeah, it just didn't really work out for me. I had all of these thoughts of grandeur playing Forza, because I actually do have 2 Forzas. Well, they're not upstairs anymore. They're down here with me right now with all of the other old games and consoles. But I did buy them. I never opened them, though. Never opened them. They're oh, man. They still in the plastic, brother. But I planned on opening.
You big dummy.
I'm telling you. It's jokers like you wasted money. You're talking about you don't have money. You wasted money. I know. Listen, I had dreams of grandeur. I really, really thought I would be playing Forza and making my way around the corners. It just didn't happen. But I'm telling you, with this flight simulator, I think this is going to be a little different. I really do believe that this is going to make me open up the PSVR 2 and really, really get my VR legs. So, listen, Mike J, if you're listening, my brother, I'm definitely going to open it. Glove box. I'm going to open it, fellas. I'm going to get around to it, and it's going to be glorious. I'm sure it's going to be absolutely glorious. Oh, my goodness. But, yeah, man. Oh, you know what? Before we move on, since I'm shouting out people, I definitely have to shout out, man. Once again, I feel bad because I don't feel like I give this brother nearly enough love, and it's very, very much so appreciated what this brother does, man. I just want to very, very much so shout out. Man, wait a minute. What the world happened? Oh, wow. Did I lose? I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on. I'm running into a situation right here. Hold on. Give me 1 minute. Let me see something. No. All right, there we go. My bad. I want to always give a shout out to my good brother, Lawrence Jones, for always holding things down in the Analog Circle Facebook group. Shout out to you, my brother. Thank you so much, man. I truly, truly appreciate you, my brother. And man, hit me up if you want to be on the show. I'm publicly inviting you to be on, my brother. And also, I gotta shout out as well. Crimson Phoenix 2026, brother. God, dog. Oh man, you would have had to be there. Pardon me, you would have had to have been there. You would understand what 2026 means if you listen to the listener feedback episode. And yeah. So I wanted to shout you out, man. Oh man, hey Crimson, brother, that was a fun episode. Matter of fact, that listener feedback episode was the best listener feedback I have ever done. So I definitely want to shout out to C-Jack for being a part of it, Cody Clark for being a part of it, and of course, the good brother Crimson Phoenix. Again, shout out to all three of you brothers, man. I appreciate y'all. And of course, I would absolutely be remiss if I did not shout out you, the wonderful, awesome listeners of the podcast. Thank y'all for being there as well. So what I want to do, guys, is from there, I think it was one more thing I wanted to mention, in the written news here. It was one other thing I saw. Oh, yeah. Death Stranding 2. It was a new stat that came out, and it says that Hideo Kojima, he won it. And now this is the reason why I am heavily contemplating getting Death Stranding 2. Because the thing I will say, I have criticized Mr. Kojima over the years. But this guy, when it came to Death Stranding 2, he was not caught up in his own hype. Because Hideo Kojima, it says he wanted more people to finish the sequel after feedback. Well, after the feedback, the first game was shown. And people said that the first game was slow. So now, since he wanted to remedy that situation, it looks like, as it stands right now, Death Stranding 2 has a completed rate for the main story on the PlayStation 5 of 62%. 62% of the people that have played Death Stranding 2 in the main story mode have actually beaten the game. That is way more than half. A far cry, I'm sure, from how many people actually beat the first one. So Hideo Kojima, as always, we always get on the developers when they do things wrong. I think it is only right to give them their flowers when they find out that something that they thought was going to work didn't work. They get into the lab, they fix it, and they actually fix the problem properly. And at 62%, that absolutely shows that Kojima really went back to the drawing board and nailed it. So shout out to him. All right. So now we can officially get into what we all come here for, even though we've been covering it. But let's go ahead and let's officially start, and let's get into the gaming news that went down. So the story that I'm going to start with this week, well, I guess the second part of the podcast, I'm going to start with this story. I got it from IGN. So a game that I think everyone should check out is Shinobi Art of Vengeance. Man, whoo, that game is serious. I'm telling you, download the demo. I can almost guarantee you that you are going to love it, especially if you're a fan of side scrollers. But this is the thing about this game that got me even more excited. And I have Shinobi Art of Vengeance. I bought it. But starting on April 3rd, DLC will be released that will feature 3 new bosses, including, and you might know some of these names. It's going to be Goro Majima from Yakuza and Like a Dragon. You're going to have Death Adder. We haven't heard that name in a long time. Death Adder, of course, he's from Golden Axe. And you're going to have Dr. Eggman from Sonic. Now, it will also feature 5 new stages, 2 new boss rush modes, 6 new music tracks, 3 new outfits, and 3 new Nimbo combat system adjustments, and it's going to have a hardcore mode. Now, it will also be a free update that will come with the map, that will come with map and tutorial display feature and a update to character outline. So this DLC and the free update are gonna be awesome. Can you imagine? Man, listen, actually, they have a trailer up right now. You can check it out. They have a trailer showing these bosses, and it is just so dope. What a throwback to classic Sega. We're talking about Eggman from Sonic and Death Adder from doggone Golden Axe. Man, come on. The DLC, again, is going to be available. April is going to be a busy doggone month. April 3rd, this is going to release. And I'm telling you, this year in gaming is so stacked. This is a really, really good year. I mean, it's like, where do you put your time? What game do you choose to actually play to be able to spend your time in? It's so many options, and it's only March, about to be April. So this has just been awesome. So yeah, definitely be on the lookout for that. I think it's going to be awesome. Again, you get a glimpse of the stages and the bosses. And the thing that I love, again, it's not just about the bosses, but you're also going to get the music soundtracks. You're going to get, you know, the Nepo combat adjustments, and you're going to get a hardcore mode. All of this stuff is going to be in there, and it's going to be 5 new stages. So it's so much packed into this. I don't know how much this DLC is going to be. Might be $15, might be $10. I don't know if it's going to go up to $20. I don't know if it's going to get that high. But whatever it comes out to, I think it will be definitely worth the money, especially at how good Shinobi Art of Vengeance is. I'm telling you, Sega, I know Sega aren't the ones in the lab making these games. I know that they are the publisher. But man, these games, the developers that they have on them, they are doing an amazing job. I'm talking about man, I'm all tongue-tied. Here we go again. I'm talking about like Streets of Rage 4. Was it Streets of Rage 4? You know, the latest Streets of Rage that came out, that side scroller. Oh my gosh, man. It was just so beautiful. When I heard that music, when that game came on, when I was playing it on Xbox One, man, the nostalgia of that doggone soundtrack, man, it hit my doggone soul, man. I am not lying. Man, you gonna make me mess around and find that joint. Hold on, man. I got to hear this for my doggone self. Let me try to find the track real quick. Man, Streets of Rage. I'm typing it in, man. Rage 4 intro music, because it was so dope. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Man, hold on. Streets of Rage 4. Oh, my goodness. Let's see if I can get the track up real quick, because it was so amazing. Let's see. That's it. Oh, my goodness. Woo! stuff just takes me to a time and a place. Oh, man. You would have just had to have been there, god dog it. Man, let me get up out of there. God dog on Streets of Rage 4. Oh, man. I heard that when I booted that game up. Goodness gracious. It took me back to 13 all over again, man. In my parents' living room, playing games on a Saturday morning. Oh, man, the Genesis just, man, oh, man, gaming is just so magical, brother. God, dog. Anyway, man, I'm going down memory lane and whatnot. Shinobi, Art of Vengeance, then got me there. Man, just definitely check out this DLC. I think it's going to be wonderful. But, guys, let's go ahead and let's get into the next story that I got from Nintendo News. So, Nintendo will be attending PAX East from March 26th, which is, I believe, tomorrow. They're going to be starting there March 26th to March 29th. Now, they're also not showing up empty-handed. They'll be bringing Super Mario Bros. Wonder Switch 2 Edition plus Meetup in Bella Bell Park. Now, they're also going to have Pokemon Pokapia for Switch 2 and the upcoming Pokemon Champions game. So if you can attend, if you're able to, these games will be, they'll be there and you'll be able to experience them. You'll be able to get hands-on with these games. I'm going to tell you something, man. Super Mario Wonder. Again, a game that I have upstairs right now. Have I played it? Of course not. Of course I haven't.
This man.
Listen, I already told y'all. I didn't play it yet. It's up there. I got the physical. It's all physical and looking nice. It's up there. And I'm going to get to it eventually. But the thing is, I'm trying to figure out, do any of you guys actually have the Switch 2 version of this? Because I want to know, is it really that big of a difference? Last I heard, now, of course, sometimes you got to be there. You got to spend time with the game, have it in a nice, chill environment, at home to really get into it. But I heard it really wasn't much of a difference between the two. Now, granted, they got this park, this Bella Bell Park situation is going to be there, the meetup or whatever. So that's cool. But that's the thing. I just don't know how much of a difference it is between the Switch 1 and Switch 2 versions. Matter of fact, I actually was looking at a video myself now that I think of it, and I couldn't really tell a difference. Now, granted, I'm looking at it on YouTube. You know how YouTube is. Most of the times, the videos are compressed, so I guess maybe due to that, didn't seem like it was much of a difference. Maybe, just maybe, the Switch 2 version was a little sharper, possibly, maybe a little bit, but it didn't seem like it was that big of a difference. Now, my question is, and I should know this, you know what? I'm not even going to ask. Let's see what we can find here with Gemini. Let's see what they tell us. If you get the Switch 2 version of Mario, what is it again? If you get the Switch 2 version of Super Mario Brothers Wonder, but you have the Switch 1 version, can you get the Switch 2 version for free? Man, I said a whole lot of nothing. I could have said that a lot faster.
The answer is no. It isn't a free upgrade. Admit, but you don't have to pay full price for it either.
Really?
Since you already own the original Super Mario Bros. Wonder on the first Switch, Nintendo has a specific upgrade pack available. Here is how the pricing and content break down for the Switch 2 edition, launching tomorrow, March 26th, 2026. The cost, existing owners, You can buy the upgrade pack for $19.99. This transforms your existing Switch 1 digital or physical copy into the full Nintendo Switch 2 edition. New play.
Man, oh, shucks. Excuse me. It says, man, let me clear my throat. God, dog. It says new players, for those who don't own the original game, the standalone Switch 2 edition is priced at $79.99. $79.99. Dog. Nintendo, you must be stopped. Oh my gosh. $80. It begins, brothers and sisters, $80 for a last generation game. Nintendo told y'all is get down or lay down. These jokers don't care. They do not care. They said if you want this greatness, you're going to get down with the program or you just going to be left out. These jokers don't care. Man, they throwing shots at everybody. Yeah, if you want it, guess what? If you didn't pay for it last generation, you're going to have to pay $80. Oh, man, are there any extra features on this thing? Now, it does say what you get for $20, because now I'm invested. I want to know now. It says Nintendo is justifying the price tag by adding more than just a resolution boost. The Switch 2 version includes new playable characters. Rosalina and co-star Luma are added to the roster. New world, a completely new area called... Oh, yeah, this is the Bella Bell Park, which focuses heavily on both co-op and competitive multiplayer attractions. End of quote. Attractions, end of quote. Technical boost, the game now runs at, 4K resolution in TV mode with significantly faster load times. Whoo, shucks. New bosses, 7 new encounters with the Koopalings hidden across the original world map. Assist mode, a new no damage mode for younger or more casual players. Dag. Well, I mean, what? I mean, listen. Yeah, it's some stuff here, but is that worth $80 though? Now, granted, they got 7 new encounters with the bosses and assist mode and a park 4K resolution, faster load time. I don't know. I mean, listen, for $20, that ain't a bad deal. I don't know, man, because I'm thinking about, Crimson Phoenix, he kind of messed me up on the list of feedback a little bit. This brother, man, if y'all didn't listen to that, man, these jokers was jumping me all episode long with their emails and their voicemails. Man, this brother Crimson came out there and told me, listen, I get all of my upgrades for free on Xbox and PC. I don't have to pay for any version to upgrade my game. All I got to do is install it, and it does it automatically. I was like, God, dog, that's a good point. That's hard to fight that. And now I'm thinking about what Nintendo got going on, and I'm like, God, dog, $20? That's just, man, I don't know, man. I mean, especially since Sony is charging $10, and Sony is doing way better with their graphics and all of that stuff, and they're charging $10. I would just, Nintendo, these jokers always pushing the doggone envelope on stuff. Man, I don't know, man. Listen, if you buy it, I hope you enjoy it. If not, I understand. But listen, if you do have the original, $20 might not be bad. It might be worth it to you. But for $80, that's a heck of a price tag. Anyway, good grief. Let's go ahead, though, guys, and it releases tomorrow. We'll see what the reviews say. Look out for Digital Foundry. They going to get you right. But let's go ahead and let's get into the next story that I got from IGN. So we always get on companies, like I was saying earlier, we always get on companies when they do bad practices. But like I said before, I think it's only right to give them their props when they do things that are they do things that look out for us, the consumer, the gamer. So when they do things well, I think that they should be, congratulated for that. And that leads me into Saber Interactive, who after receiving backlash for their $5 voice pack DLC for Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2, which is one of my favorite a new franchise for me. It's not new, but for me, it's a new franchise. They actually apologized. And not only did they apologize, they made the content free and actually are offering right now refunds to customers who actually went out and bought that DLC. So shout out to Saber Interactive for that amazing move. Fantastic. It's always great when a developer, when they can actually read the room, figure out this is not what our fan base wants, make an apology, and not only making the apology, but actually showing that they're actually putting their actions where their mouth is and making the content for free. So that is amazing. Again, I am a fan of Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2. If you haven't played it, it is a fantastic game. It was one of those experiences where the best way I can describe Space Marine 2 is it's just a gamer's game. I just can't really describe it any better than that. It's a game that if you're a gamer, you will just enjoy it. It's not too long. It's not overly complicated. It's beautiful. The story is easy to follow. It's just so much doggone fun. It is such a great experience. I would highly recommend that if any of you guys have been interested in the game, definitely pick it up. I do not think any of you will be disappointed. So again, shout out to them. And I cannot wait for Space Marine 3 to release. But let's go ahead and let's get into the next story. And I got this story from Kotaku. So this is, man, Xbox, listen. How, man? I don't know, man. Hey, Crimson, man. I don't know, man. I'm a little, how can I say, man? I'm a little hopeful. We'll see, though, man. Let's get into it, though. So Xbox will be having its first showcase since Ms. Sharma has taken over the reins at Xbox. Now, this will be, I got to pump the brakes a little bit and preference it. This will be a Xbox partner preview event that will be taking place on March 26th, which is tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, they have already teased that Sega will be there, and this is the thing. They are teasing this game. Now, this developer, I always get their name wrong, so pardon me, but I believe it's pronounced Ryuga Gotokus. It's spelled RYAGAGOTOKUS. They are going to be showing off their new game, and we saw this game a couple of months ago. It was the game that is called Stranger Than Heaven. Stranger Than Heaven. When I saw this game, I said, hold on, man. This joint looks very, very promising. Matter of fact, I believe this is the same team, if I'm not mistaken, This is the same team that was behind Fist of the North Star, which I thought was Fist of the North Star was really good, especially if you were a fan of the anime. That game was really, really good, man. So it's that developer. And, of course, they're behind the Yakuza series. Now, I don't want to say that they're behind the Judgment franchise, but I think they are. But that's the team. Matter of fact, this is the trailer right here.
I pray with a song in my heart. Ever since we've been alone, whenever I'm feeling blue, let us
Got a name?
Mako Daito.
Daito. A Jap then, huh?
Don't I look like one?
You're not? So, what are you then?
Sana. 俺が知りてえや。
I have high hopes for that game. That's going to be shown tomorrow. I am so excited about that because I'm such a big fan of the Judgment franchise. I enjoyed Fist of the North Star. And this game, it reminds me of Sleeping Dogs. If any of y'all are fans of Sleeping Dogs, it just has that feel to it. Has that somewhat of that same aesthetic. It looks a lot better, but it has that kind of aesthetic to it. I think this is going to be so well done. Of course, we got to see. This happens in the 1940s. I'm enjoying that atmosphere that they have it placed in. So this got me very excited about this game. And the other game that's going to be shown off tomorrow that I am extremely excited about and I've been looking at very closely is the sci-fi RPG game, The Expanse, Osiris Reborn. This game puts me in the mindset of Mass Effect. I mean, if you were a Mass Effect fan, this has Mass Effect written all over it. Now, again, of course, we got to see what it looks like. You know, actual real-time gameplay. We've seen some of it already, and it looks very, very promising. So when I heard that these two games were going to be at the show, I was sold. And that's the thing. These aren't the only games that are going to be there. You're going to have GSC Game World. Well, GSC Game World is going to be there as well. You're going to have OWL Games, and it's going to be many more. So I'm sure we'll be getting a whole list of probably Game Pass titles coming to the service as well. So this is really, really exciting. Y'all know I give Game Pass a heck of a hard time. But I will say, man, if Microsoft pulls off, now I don't want to, set a high bar that can't be reached. So trust me, I highly doubt that it's going to happen. But if by any chance Xbox can get Stranger Than Heaven inside of Game Pass day and date, if they can get that game in there day and date, man, that will be a huge win. And we know that Microsoft and Sega, they've cozied up a little bit over the years. I mean, of course, they go all the way back to the Dreamcast, Microsoft themselves and Sega. But, it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens with this show tomorrow. And it's early, 1 p.m. I cannot wait to see what they show. Now, the other thing that I wanted to add, which really, I'm so conflicted because I just don't know. I'm excited, I'm conflicted, and I'm slightly let down just a little bit. I have a lot of emotions with this next thing because it just came out of left field. Listen, I'm going to say to add to the good news because it's good news, but let me just get into it. So there was an article from Pure Xbox that showed that for certain Xbox fans, they're getting a quote, just for you, end of quote, deal, where in some cases the Series X is up to, listen to this, the Series X is up to 50% off for some customers.
What you talking about, Rose?
I said, what? Up to 50% off of a Series X. Now, the thing is, I said, oh, shucks. But this is the thing. It does seem to vary from person to person. And this is the thing where I'm so conflicted because, to be fair, this is only through Microsoft. This is not available at Best Buy, at Walmart, Target, GameStop, etc. It's not available anywhere else. It is in-house from Microsoft. And y'all remember, because I can't take it back. Y'all remember when I said, because this is why it hit so hard for me. I said, if Asha Sharma wants to show that they really want to compete, then they will slash the price of the Xbox Series X. And here we are, even though it comes with the caveat of it only being for some customers. The fact that they did this, the fact that it's happening, this is actually really, I'm not trying to get a whole lot of false hope here, but listen, man, you gotta congratulate when that they seem to be doing things right. I mean, doggone, they're actually doing this at 50% off, up to 50% off for some of the customers. You know what? Hold on. Oh man, hold on. The other part about it is I'm conflicted because why didn't you do this sooner, Xbox? Why? And why would you keep putting your games on PlayStation? Why would you keep doing this? All right, let me look something up here. I don't know how I'm gonna word this. I don't know. Let me see if I can figure it out. Is it true that some Xbox customers are getting deals for Xbox Series X at 50% off? If this is true, how is it determined who gets the discount? I don't know. I'm trying, y'all. We'll see what they come up with. We'll see if it even can come up with an answer.
Yes, it is true. Several reports from late March 2026 confirm that Microsoft is offering targeted discounts of up to 50% on Xbox Series 10 consoles to a select group of customers. Who is getting the discount? This is not a public sale available at retailers like Best Buy or Amazon. It is a targeted loyalty promotion specifically aimed at Xbox One owners who have not yet upgraded to current generation hardware. The promotion is designed to help transition the remaining last-gen player base to the Xbox Series 10 as ecosystem. According to multiple user reports and industry leaks, the offer is being presented directly on the Xbox One dashboard or within the Microsoft Store app on the console under a Just For You banner. How is it determined? Microsoft is using a specialized internal algorithm to select eligible accounts. The criteria are silent and happen in the backend, but reports indicate eligibility is based on several key factors: console usage, frequent players who are still active on an Xbox One, Xbox One S, or Xbox One X, subscription history, long-term loyalty to services like Xbox Game Pass or Xbox Live Gold, purchase behavior, users who frequently buy digital games but haven't made the jump to new hardware. Upgrade likelihood. The algorithm identifies users who are most likely to convert if the financial barrier is lowered. The deal details. The discounts are inconsistent, meaning one person might see 17% off, while another sees the full 50%. Reported prices include Xbox Series 10 1TB digital edition, seen as low as *347.99, originally $600. Refurbished Xbox Series 10. Some targeted users have reported seeing these for as little as $300.
Dang.
Standard Xbox Series 10, disc version, spotted for roughly $396.49. How to
Dang. Wow. Listen, man. You got to start out small to get big things going. Wow. Listen, man, I understand that for someone like myself, knowing that this is why I didn't want them to put their games over on the PlayStation and those kind of deals, this does show. And trust me, I know that I want to believe, man. And this is the part of being an Xbox fan that hurts. You start getting your hopes up. You start really believing that things are changing. And it's like they just hit you in the chest so hard with doggone just bad news. And it makes it so hard to want to continue to be a fan. But I'm just going to say this. Just the fact that they are trying. And I get it that for some users, you might only get 17% off. It might be just a little bit, but it all depends on how active you are, how much you're playing, how many years, I guess, you've been on Xbox Live or Game Pass, or how many games you got digitally from Xbox. I'm sure all of that plays a factor into it. But just the fact that they're offering it, it does show that they want to transfer people over to the next generation. And I think that for what it's worth, that it's commendable that they are at least trying. They're trying to. And I know it's for a small group of people. It's not at the retailers like I was hoping it would be. But this is still not bad. This is still showing they're trying to do something. So, again, I mean, I know the generation is pretty much over right now, which is where I'm so conflicted. Like, dag, man, I just wish y'all had tried a little sooner. But they're under new leadership. Oh, man, here I go again. God, dog. I feel like a victim right now. I feel like I'm that person is saying, you know what, I know they still love me. Yeah, they treat me bad. They don't help me when I need help. They've left me stranded on the side of the road a couple times, but I know she loves me, though. I know in her heart she really, really has feelings for me. I feel like that right now. Doggone. Listen, I don't know what the world's gonna happen. I got to be honest. I don't know. I mean, logically, I'm thinking this ain't gonna do nothing. But I'm still like, but dag, man, they are trying though. It's insane. What the world? Am I by myself? I might be by myself out here on the island. I am tripping. I feel like I'm really, really tripping right now. Because I'm sitting here knowing against my better judgment that nothing is going to come of this. But I'm still holding on. Oh, this is insane. Oh, man. This is insanity. I don't know. Hey, listen, do y'all think that Xbox is actually about to start trying? Listen, I don't, man, that brother Satya is still there, god dog it. That Joker is still there like Mr. Claw from doggone Gadget. Was it a Go-Go Gadget? Man, I can't even remember the name of the cartoon, but y'all know Mr. Claw. Doggone, that Joker's still there running the empire. Man, I don't know. I don't know, man. Inspector Gadget, that's the name of it. We'll see, man. Darn, do y'all think that Microsoft is about to turn, or I should say Xbox is about to turn over a new leaf? I doubt it, but I really want to believe. Oh, man, I really, really want to believe that these jokers are about to turn it around, but I just don't know. I just don't know. Ain't giving away Starfield. Ain't giving away doggone Gears of War. Halo is gone. Forza's gone. God doggone. Even the new IP that came out last year. Doggone with the sister down in the bayou. Shucks, man. Even that's coming over next month. Holy smoke. I just don't know. They got Fable coming out later on this year. This is just madness. I just don't know. Listen, I'm going to get myself together. Oh, man, and we're just going to move on. You tell me your thoughts. I think I'm tripping. I really do, but oh, man, y'all tell me what y'all think. Is Xbox really going to try next generation? Or are we going to be right back in a worse, even worse position than we were before? I really sincerely want to know your thoughts. God, dog, I just don't know. But what I do know is we over a doggone hour into this episode. We got to move on to the next story, man. Let's get on to a story that I got from Gaming Po. God doggone Xbox, man. They do it to me every darn time. But let's get on, man. So recently we got the report from Jason Schreier that PlayStation would, of course, stop putting their games on PC, but no official word has come from Sony directly. But Jason Schreier, he actually shed some light on when the announcement could happen by saying they will confirm it, quote, at some point, end of quote. But then he says, quote, whether it's on a call with investors or maybe even when Housemarque starts doing press for Soros and someone asks if they have plans to bring it to PC and they say no. End of quote. So it looks like Jason Schreier, he is continuing to stay 10 toes down on this situation where he truly believes that to actually cement this, that Sony will eventually say something. Now, I was under the impression that Sony wouldn't say a word, that they would just let the games not coming over there speak for itself. But if they do come out and they do say this, man, oh man, it's going to be very, very interesting because there are still some PC guys, not all, of course, but most, that think that the PlayStation games are going to continue to come over to PC because they feel like PlayStation needs them. Now, of course, these are the arrogant, PC guys. I'm not talking about C-Jack. I'm not talking about Crimson, because Crimson and C-Jack, for the most part, not even the most part, they said that they understand why PlayStation would take their games off of PC. So they definitely got it. But some, some people, they don't feel like that's going to be the case. They think that they need PC and that they will sell more if they put it on PC, where the numbers show that they're not really making a real good investment going over to PC, or they're not seeing a big return, on their investment. So they're divesting from PC. But of course, a lot of people won't believe it until Sony actually comes out and says something. So again, based on, Jason Schreier, he's saying eventually Sony will come out and actually attack this, eventually, whether it's at their next investors meeting or when Soros is out there doing press and somebody asks them, hey, when is Soros coming to PC? And they actually tell them, well, that's not going to make it. So we'll see when that happens. Of course, April is in the next couple of days. Soros is coming out next month. So I don't think, based off of what Jason Schreier is saying, I don't think, if it is true, we'll have to wait that long or that much longer to actually get an official announcement from PlayStation. But let's get into the next story, and I got this story from Insider Gaming. So, yeah, let's get into some more PlayStation news. So, Insomniac news. So, they were asked by a fan on X, would there still be more info given out about Wolverine this spring, since spring has already began? And Insomniac responded by saying, and I quote, during spring 2026, yes, end of quote. That's all they said. Then another fan asked for pre-orders, but Insomniac answered them by saying, and I quote, we want to show you more of the game first, end of quote. Now, the thing is, I know that spring started officially on March 20th. That's been about 5 days ago. But this is the thing. Spring lasts until around June 20th to around the 22nd. So that means we could be waiting a little bit of time. We're talking about possibly 3 months before we see anything on Wolverine. Now, granted, I don't know if they're going to do it in April. For some reason, I thought they would. But just thinking about that timeline until June 20th through the 22nd, that's quite a bit of time. So, of course, the good news is that Insomniac, they don't even want to take your money yet as far as pre-orders go. They want to show you the game. They want to show you the gameplay. They want to let you see what they're working on. They want you to see the product for what it is, which is good because that means that they're still going to be showing off Wolverine sometime during the spring. The problem is, again, it's a 3-month window in there that Insomniac could just say, look, we're not going to do it in April. We're not going to do it in May. Yeah, let's do it in June. Let's do it in June. June 20th. Like darn near the last day of spring. Let's do it. Or who knows? Who knows? Because that's E3 season. I mean, maybe it's a situation where early on in June, PlayStation does a blowout. They do a showcase. And maybe Wolverine is shown. Well, wait a minute now. I don't know if that makes sense. Because we did hear last year, putting this in perspective, that they said that Wolverine was going to get its own show. I believe that's what they said last year, and it was going to be shown off in the spring. So we know that PlayStation, they're known for actually having showcases, well, not showcases, but state of plays where they only concentrate on one game mainly. They may have a few appetizers here and there, sprinkled through the presentation, but, of course, that one game is the meat and potatoes of that, well, for lack of a better term, that show. So with that being said, of course, we'll have to wait and see if that really does happen, because we know that plans can change. Sometimes these companies, they have a great idea. Somebody comes out and says, I don't know if we should do it that way. Whole thing changes. I mean, it happens all the time. So, of course, we'll just have to wait and see how Insomniac and PlayStation or Sony decide to play it. But one thing is for sure, we will be getting gameplay at some point this year. But let's go ahead, though, guys, and let's get into the next story. So this one is actually very, very interesting because, wish I had some water. But this gets interesting because for a while now, we've been hearing different things about GTA 6 and, the pricing. But last week, let me say that again. We've been hearing things about GTA 6 and how much it's going to cost. But last week, during an interview being hosted by Christopher Dring during, quote, the Game Business, end of quote, podcast, while he was actually interviewing Take-Two's CEO, Strauss Zelnick said this during the interview that actually made people believe that he set the price of GTA 6.
Do you see an opportunity for advertising within the PC and console space?
Well, for free-to-play titles, yes. For titles for which you've paid $70 or $80, no.
No.
We have some limited advertising inside games like NBA 2K because that, it fits with the vernacular. You want to see advertising in an arena, in a stadium, because you would if you were there in real life.
So shout out to Christopher Dring, man. We've heard so many stories from this guy. He was able to get Strauss Zelnick to not even of any fault of his own, but Strauss Zelnick just threw out a number. When you're charging $70 to $80, because he asked him about the advertisements, of course, being in games. And, of course, Strauss Zelnick told him, well, if you're paying $70 or $80 for a game, no. So it looks like, matter of fact, hold on. I got to say, shout out again to Strauss Zelnick, man. Definitely check out that interview. It was a really good interview. It was really, really good. They didn't, really get into a lot of Grand Theft Auto 6 talk too much, of course, and that kind of makes sense because they're about to go on their press run this summer, Rockstar, that is. So it made sense that he wouldn't get too deep into it, Strauss Zelnick, that is. But they did kind of talk about, well, not kind of, they actually talked about the industry itself and where it's going and with the AI tools and things of that nature. So it was definitely a really, really good interview. But here it is, Strauss Zelnick just off the rip saying $70 to $80. $80. That's where I'm thinking Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to fall. Anytime Nintendo is charging what they're charging for games, man, you better believe that Rockstar's like, man, ain't no doggone way y'all gonna tell me y'all gonna pay that for a Nintendo game and y'all aren't gonna pay it for a Rockstar game? Man, put that $80 tag on this, because at the end of the day,
show me the money.
That's what it's all about, baby. That's what it's all about, man. Look, they gonna buy it. It's not gonna be $100. Now, I'm sure they're gonna have those special editions that you can pay $150 for, and you're going to get all of the points that you need to maybe get started when you're playing online, things of that nature. But I will say, $80. Oh, man, this is why, man. Oh, my goodness. Man, listen, I'll put it on myself. I'm a walking contradiction at times. I am. I really, really am. Because here it is. I'm sitting here, like I tell y'all, everybody has a price. Everybody has a threshold where they're like, man, I really don't want to pay that much, but it is something I want to get, though. So I'll make an exception, this one time. Because at the end of the day, we all know that we have money for what we want to buy. If it's something we want to buy, we will find a way to get the money. We'll find the way to get the money to get the item that we're trying to get. So as I sit here and I say, dag, man, would you really pay $80 for Grand Theft Auto 6? As critical as you've been on it, as much as you don't think it's going to reach the hype levels that everybody is hoping it will, I'm going to tell you something, man. Over the summer, because I'm not 100% convinced. I'm going to just wait to see what happens over the summer during this campaign. I truly do believe it's going to be something special. I mean, they had something on X where they were talking about somebody inside of Rockstar. Their main job was just like the physics with the shattering of glass or something like that. Like the glass doesn't shatter the same way twice or something like that. And that was their only job, was just working on glass shattering. I'm like, what the world? That's crazy detail. So, of course, we got to see it. We got to see it, in person. And, well, yeah, to see how it works, or maybe even not in person, but we got to see gameplay of it on display to see if it really does work that way. So, because nothing is a guarantee at the end of the day. And we know what Rockstar does, but still Rockstar can strike out. They're not above the program. It can happen. Now, the likelihood of it happening, is probably pretty doggone slim, but it can happen. I mean, I'm on record saying that I thought that God of War 2018 was a better game than Red Dead Redemption. I mean, I'm definitely on record saying this man. Man, listen, I don't give a doggone what y'all say. Man, God of War was a much more fun game. It was one of those things I say it was a gamer's game. It was one of those games where it was fun, the story was great, graphics were awesome. Red Dead Redemption 2 was slow. That Joker was a slow burn. It took a couple of hours for me to really start getting in to Red Dead Redemption 2, whereas God of War 2018, y'all know how that started off. Oh my goodness, that boss fight. Come on, man. Come on. Just two different, not necessarily like that, like levels, but just two different levels of amazing. And God of War, I sided with that. I thought that should have got Game of the Year that year. Rockstar cleaned up, though. Don't get me wrong on awards, but I thought that God of War was ultimately the better game for me. So, again, they're not above reproach, and they can drop the ball. But we'll see, man. Depending on how it looks over the summer, that's going to determine whether or not I want to drop this possibly $80 on this game. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be dozens upon dozens of fun. Well, dozens upon dozens of hours of fun, but I don't know. Are you okay with paying $80 for GTA 6? I'm sure that it's a relief, because it is, I will admit, it is a bit of a relief knowing that it's a good possibility that it's going to be 80 instead of 100. But, that's just me. I would love to hear from you. We're almost an hour and a half in, man. Let's go ahead. Let's get ready to wrap this up. We're almost done. But let's get into the next story. So I know we've been following this story it's been months as far as The Witcher 3 DLC goes. But during CD Projekt Red's financial report, they did announce that they plan to publish one of their, quote, heretofore unannounced gaming projects, end of quote, in the coming quarters. And since they already announced there will be no more DLC for Cyberpunk 2077, hopefully, just hopefully, this means that insert Siri to lead us out of The Witcher 3 into The Witcher 4, because that seems to be the rumored DLC, that it's going to be Siri. Of course, we know that she's going to be the main character in The Witcher 4, but she's supposed to transition us out of The Witcher 3, into The Witcher 4. So, again, it is promising that they do have a unannounced gaming project that will be coming out in the, coming quarters. We've heard that it's possibly going to be in September sometime to try to avoid Grand Theft Auto 6, because they're the big bully on the block. But that's the rumor. So we'll just have to wait and see. Oh, man, they're going to be somewhere. I think I might have talked about it last week. Yeah, I did. Where CD Projekt Red, they're going to be at some event. They're going to be showing off The Witcher 4 at that event. I can't bring it up and not tell y'all what it is. Hold on. I think it's the Unreal show for some reason. I don't know. Hold on. What show will CD Projekt Red be at to show off The Witcher 4 gameplay? Hopefully it'll bring it up, because I can't quite remember.
It looks like you won't have to wait much longer for a real look at the game. CD Projekt Red has officially announced that they will be showcasing The Witcher 4, Project Polaris, at Unreal Fest 2026 in Chicago.
Right. Okay.
The reveal details, dates, June 16 to 18, 20.
Okay, so yeah, well, that's a little ways off, about 3 months, little less than 3 months. But yeah, we'll be being shown off at the Unreal Fest 2026. So yeah, we won't have to wait too much longer. But let's go ahead though, guys. We're almost finished, and let's get into the final story of the week. So I got this story. Now, this was a bit of a mix match, because I got this information from Game Industry Biz, IGN, and Games Hub. Just put it all together in one. So, excuse me. So, as of March 24th, 2026, Nintendo has announced they will be scaling back production on the Nintendo Switch 2 by around, and this is a nice number, they're going to be pulling back around 33% for the current quarter, bringing their target from 6 million down to 4 million consoles. Now, the reason this is happening is because sales for the 2025 holiday season were, quote, weaker than expected, end of quote. And it was another reason why they're slowing down production. It wasn't just because the sales were slow during the holiday season, but excuse me, I'm sorry, y'all. Something just seems to be in my throat. But the other reason why they're slowing down production is because they overproduced early on. Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. Wait a minute. I'm not going to keep doing this. Hold on. Get some doggone water. Oh, man. Oh, boy. Pardon me, y'all. Pardon me. But, yeah. So, they're going to actually be not downsizing, but they're going to be cutting back production because, like I said, they didn't really perform to the level that they thought they were during the 2025 holiday season. But Nintendo, and this is the other thing, the other reason why they slowed down production, and they should be commended for this. They overproduced early. They did this early on to actually crush scalpers. So since they were able to crush them out, because we never saw at any point in time since the Switch 2 has released that there have been scalpers that have got their good grief, did they have got their hands on any of the Nintendo Switch 2s. They were always available in the store. They always had stock. And again, it was because they overproduced, which to me is unbelievable because y'all remember during the Wii, man, that doggone Wii generation, you could not find that joke in the store for like a year plus. It was like so little inventory when it came to that console that if you saw it in the store, even if you were remotely interested in it, people were picking it up because they didn't know when it was going to be there again. So I definitely commend Nintendo for actually coming out and making sure that they made enough stock so that scalpers couldn't get their hands on it, similar to how they did with the PlayStation 5 and the Series X and S. They didn't have a long run when it came to scalpers getting their hands on it, but it did happen for a little small window there. But so now that they have enough inventory sitting in the warehouses, they don't need to have production running at 100%. Now, the bigger question is the console failing? Because you think, okay, look, listen, it didn't make it out of the holiday 2025 season with the numbers that they wanted it to. They're already scaling back the production from 6 million to 4 million. It would make you think that, man, the console might not be doing so well. And of course, I have said, and I'm on record, I don't believe that the Switch 2 will sell as many consoles as the Nintendo Switch 2. I think it's going to sell half as many. Yeah, I'm on record. I can't take it back now. You know, I'm on record, so I got to ride with my decision for the rest of this generation as far as Nintendo goes. But according to reports, this is the thing. They're actually still on pace to hit their goal of 19 to 20 million units sold by the end of this month. And for context, just to let you know whether or not it's failing or not, the original Switch didn't hit those type of numbers 9 months in. So I would have to think the slowing down of production has nothing to do with the console failing at this point in time. They just have enough. They're in the warehouse. They can kind of chill. They no longer have to worry about scalpers getting their hands on them. And they can just kind of relax a little bit. So, of course, we'll see what happens with this as the generation goes on. But for them actually being on track to be at 19 to 20 million units sold in 9 months, that's crazy. Matter of fact, I gotta know these numbers, man. I got to know the doggone numbers. And this is gonna be it, though. I just want to see. At 9 months in, how many units did the original Nintendo Switch sell in that time period? I'm curious.
The original Nintendo Switch was an absolute juggernaut right out of the gate. By the end of its first 9 months, March 2017 to December 2017, it had sold 10 million units worldwide to consumers. By the time
my gosh. Oh my gosh. Did y'all hear that? It sold 10 million in 9 months. They're saying that in this same amount of time, the Switch 2 is going to sell 19 to 20. God, dog. That's double. That's double. Oh my God. Man, I might have bet on the wrong horse, God dog. I got to get the heck out of here, man. God dog. Got to get my vehicle going. I got to get out of here. Oh, shucks. What? Almost double the amount of units in the same amount of time? That is madness. That is madness. Wow. Well, God dog, hey man, listen, that is the end of the news this week. Doggone Nintendo is on a darn tear. They doggone raising prices and selling consoles and taking names. These jokers are out here killing it right now. Man, oh man. Hey, listen, man, listen. As always, I want to thank you guys so much for being here, for always showing support, for you guys that are a part of the show, that call in, that write in. Trust me, it is so, so appreciated because, like I say, without you guys listening, the show is not worth doing. So I truly, truly thank you guys for all of your support. Thank y'all so much. So with that being said, before we tie this thing up and put a bow on it, always remember, it is not about the consoles. It is about the games. And I will see you guys on the next episode on Sunday, when we will be going over listener feedback. Be sure to call in, be sure to write in to be a part of that show. So with that being said, you guys take care. Be safe out there. Bye-bye.